Alright, well now that the video has started with the audio of me dying, we're not going to do the 5 minutes because you guys have already had a lot of time since the test was over. Hopefully you went to the bathroom and did whatever. I have some people resisting me helping make your life easier. And if you resist us making your life easier, you are making the choice to make your life harder. Don't do that. That's a bad choice. It will only come back to bite you in the butt. It is as if you were about to run a race and you're like, oh wait, shoot myself in the foot. Okay. I'll get there. Don't do that. Okay? When we tell you what to put in the plan book, that's exactly what you put in the plan book. Okay, so this exactly, including the hashtag, dude, you're getting popcorn all in your sling. You're saving it for later. I need your homework, by the way. Hey, chill. There will be some point in this year where probably each of you forget to turn in your homework. So please do not react when I tell people things like that. I've not posted our grades in math yet. I'm kind of old school when it comes to certain things. I keep paper grades first, and then a couple days after that I post them in math. So based off my paper grading, I will talk to people and be like, yo, where's your homework? Yo, where's this? And if you get it to me within those couple days, you're good. Not, goes in as a check minus or a missing or whatever. Yeah. None. You don't turn in anything today. You don't turn in anything unless I ask for it. Okay? This is also telling me who's paying attention when you walk in here. On the board yesterday, it said, right where it says, in your playbook, you write exactly what's in that box. That's our announcement space, guys. Yesterday, who can tell me what it said? It said, please, big letters, and under it, Labiba? Do not turn in your homework unless requested. Sorry, that was bring your math book to class. So that too, bring your math book to class. That's an announcement that we need to pay attention to as well. But then up here, we go way back, and you guys maybe didn't see this on Monday, so I might be confused because we skipped class on Monday. Don't turn in your homework unless I ask for it. And to explain that procedure, I often grade in packets. So today, when I have your homework collected right now and I'm working through grading it, I am checking, and you can see on my sheet, I'm checking 111, 112, 113, 114, and then there's a column that says math grade, like what grade I'm actually going to put in math, because I put one grade in for those 4 assignments. Trust me, you do not want them to go in as individual assignments. You'll end up with a math list, huge, even if they're all good grades, it's just a ton of assignments. You don't want to do that. Especially come second or third quarter when the other classes assign a lot of stuff. You don't want me to put in individual homeworks. So normally, right, Brendan? I like to mess with people when I know you're not paying attention. So normally, I collect stuff on Friday. Okay, so normally, and on Friday, in the announcement space, I will tell you exactly what I'm collecting. Now, I want to try an experiment. No, but I do apologize that I've been kind of sick. I know it's gross, but I'm fighting it. I want to try an experiment with you guys. I was reading through the homeworks, and one of your classmates said, my favorite thing, or my favorite way that class can work is when the teacher just tells us what we need to do, and then we're just trusted to do it. And 111 through 115 were all review. That whole first section was literally called the review section. We are now going into 1.2.1. So in your notes, please, let's get a header. So we write, now you're going to have blank page or whatever else, but we write 1.2.1. And then all you need to write is probability. You don't have to write introduction to it. It's just probability. This is where our actual learning begins. Right? Well, 111 was kind of review and kind of a hodgepodge, a mix of stuff. This is where our actual learning begins. So I want to run a test. And I want to see how well we can work in groups. So today, once we go over a couple things, I'm going to try to just release you guys and see how far you can work just as your group. So in your notes, you're going to be labeling what problem you're talking about and whatever you guys write down for it. So when we get to 150, you're going to want to write down 150, and then events that you think are possible but not certain, events that are certain, and events that are impossible. Maybe on my paper, I write out like 3 lists. Impossible, and like maybe, and like certain. I don't really rigidly structure it out. Like maybe that's how you do it. Maybe you write lists out horizontally. Like, I don't care what you end up doing, but I just want to see what you end up doing. And I'm going to be circulating the room while this happens. Then, when you get down to 151, you're going to need a resource. And this is how I'm going to know where you're at. When you get to 151, you're going to send one person up to get that resource, which is not all that fancy. It's a bag of blocks. So when you get there, come up and get the bag of blocks. Then, as you keep going, once you get to 154, you're going to need a different resource. Come up again. We're going to see how far we get. We have slightly shortened classes today, so I'm not quite sure where we're going to get, but we'll see. Anybody feel like reading to help us out so we can all start? Aiden, you have probably go all the way through the questions. So I was looking that way.
Am I starting at you have probably?
Yes.
You have probably heard a weather forecaster say that the chance of rain tomorrow is 40%. Have you thought about what that means? Does it mean that it will rain tomorrow for sure? What is the chance that it will not rain? In today's lesson, we'll investigate the chance or the probability of something happening or not happening. As you do the activities, ask your team these questions. What is the probability of the event occurring? And how can you record the probability?
Thank you very much. Now up here they talk about percent. I think we need to make a reminder in our notes. What does percent mean? It is directly telling us something mathy. Adrian?
It's kind of like on a scale from 1 to 100, what is the probability of something happening, or what is the likelihood of something happening?
Yeah, and it's easier than that, though. Everybody write down percent, please, but put a little hyphen in the middle. A dash. Percent. Per person, per mile, per inch, per second.
Cent is 1. Cent means 1.
Hold on. How many years are in a century? Percent just means out of 100. Or for every 100. So 40% really converts to what fraction? Eva? 41/100ths. So you start with a fraction and want to get to percent. Like let's say you start with a fraction of 3 out of 5. What do I need to try to make happen? Yeah. We want 100 here, and Joey already figured out to do that, I have to times by 20. What's 3 times 20? 60, and that becomes 60%. Questions on percent, meaning out of 100. Because if we're going to talk about percents, that needs to be part of our knowledge base. So at this point, I want your teams to start having a conversation. What are some events that you can think of? And we're going to have 3 different types. Impossible, could happen, will happen. Right? For sure will happen. So impossible, somewhere in the middle, might happen, and definitely will happen. Okay? Actually, whenever you feel like your group has talked about that enough, move on to 51. Let's just do that. So do 50, and then whenever you think you've talked enough and you have a few, and then I'm going to come group to group and have you guys come up and write things in our lists.
Wait, we're going to write things on the board?
You guys can always come up here. All you have to do is ask. You like,
I love doing that.
but I don't always, I need to do better with this, especially because I've been coughing right now. I need to wipe off my small pens. Like I need to. So if I were you, I'd make a list, or it's like a 3-column. I kind of split a piece of my page and say impossible. Could happen, and that's like a maybe. And will happen. There's a fancy word for will happen, and I'm going to write it above here. A lot of times we say certain, or it will happen. And for the could happen, we say uncertain. It might, but we're not sure. You bit off your tooth.
Yeah, I don't know how. I was eating my chip and then it came off.
Baby teeth. Some of them just jump right out.
What if it wasn't baby teeth? That's
Um,
what I'm worried about.
No, I think you're okay. Here, I gotta get you up. All right, so start talking among your groups. Make this happen. Oh, hey. Well, I was gonna send her with a note, but I guess it doesn't matter. Layla.
Okay, people. Kevin. Adrian, let's talk. One group by yourself.
What if he wants to?
So let's talk. So what's impossible for you to do?
Unless you fly in the airplane, but that's too smart.
You guys have one thing out of there? Some people add. Oh, well, we need events, not like the math, but like the events. Did you read this out? We just came across like 3 different types of events. So like things that are like if I say you go across country, is that certain to happen? Yes, or they cancel it, right? So whether that's cancel it, but is it impossible that you go cross country? You put that in the middle. You guys have So, I don't know. You think an example of something is going to be impossible?
Impossible.
Yeah, that would work. Growing wings.
Impossible.
That was you that growing wings. So from what you know, that's probably impossible. You did that. Sorry. I'm sorry that you did that. I'm honest.
Here's people. It is people. No, that's your fault.
So great KO or something.
Oh, no.
Wait. Okay, so maybe on that.
Yeah, for sure. If nothing else, like this.
Jesus
coming
would
up
do
with
Okay, no, I'm gonna put
You made my
so hard.
Impossible. Yeah, sure. You can put it wrong. 29. So Ava, what's really sad is when I said that, I said yes. Yes, yeah.
This will happen.
Yes, that's an example. You can go right up there.
Excuse me.
Let's not go there. No, for sure. Your classmates. That's okay. You don't know your classmates. And you don't want to be broken hearts.
No, you don't.
Hey. Well, magic is like Are you proceed? Do you have anything else? You guys have one you could Only one person can write at a time. Green pen doesn't work. Green pen doesn't work. It's the sensor. It's not the pen. It's so see the sensor in the bottom. That thing stops working. We're trying to have every group add at least one thing.
What happens?
What happens every day?
Oh, this is just gonna
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get some stuff up there for impossible and certain? Those
Yes,
lists are very
that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the impossible. I don't know. You guys are very
Alright, no more uncertain. That list has too many. Only impossibles and certains. If your group has not put one up there, please head up there. Hey, so it's easier to use the pen because it doesn't do a great job with using fingers. It can work, but it just doesn't work very well. And if you're up at the smartboard, take 2 steps back unless you're writing on it. If I was Ava, I'd be claustrophobic. What is that? That you what? Well, we hope so. Don't, that's
Well,
yeah, I mean, that's impossible for her, right? No, she will be Mr. Hudson's mom. It's impossible that she is my mom. And then we're moving on to 51. But then it's still Alright, if you've already written one, grab a seat.
I've written 8.
Alright, we need to keep moving. Unless... Sorry, I still got like head pressure stuff going on. I can't really be much louder than this, and I'm trying not to like yell this year. It stresses some kids out, but I'm just loud. Unless you're writing on the board or waiting, your group should move on to 51 and start answering those questions. Okay, so we're gonna go play Hey, hold on just a second. I'm gonna scroll my book.
We're gonna play Go Fish?
Well, we're gonna play a fair game or like an amusement park game called Go Fish. All right, there's your 51. You can write again. I can't do anything up on the other screen if you're doing something on that screen. All right, to recenter us, I'm going to read this for us because nobody needs to be talking right at the moment. Mike wants to win a giant stuffed animal at the carnival, probably for somebody special. He decided to play the game Go Fish, which has 3 prizes: a giant stuffed animal, a smaller stuffed animal, and a kazoo. The game is set up with a tent containing 1 green fish, 3 blue fish, and 6 yellow. Hence the bag at your desks. To play, Mike must go fishing. The game is set up so that every time a player goes fishing, he or she will catch a fish. Right? It's like magnets or something. You'll get a fish, but you don't know what comes.
Can we get a fishing pole?
Simulate the game. I already did that. So to win the giant stuffed animal, Mike needs to catch a green fish. Now, ignore their question. Well, yeah, actually, just process through their questions exactly how they are. I was debating going rogue again, but it's easier, especially since you have your books at your desks. So, A, if every fish in the tank is green, say, you put in like some sort of dye pack or something and all of a sudden they're all green, how would you describe yeah, green. So you can change the color to green. Up here we have to pick up a different tank. Yeah, it's just the slot there. A, if every single fish is green, how do we talk about that probability? B, the way the tank is set up, how would we talk about his probability of getting the green? And C, given the information in the problem, what percent, now we got to convert to percent, would you expect Mike to catch a green fish and win the giant stuffed animal? I will give you 5 minutes to do this. Dive in. Get it. Fish. Dive. Somebody missed their headset. No, sorry, I'm just looking for it. So everybody's paper should at least look like my screen. We should have 51 labeled. Probably write Go Fish so we can remember what we're doing. And then ABC, and we should be discussing A. If every fish was green. Guys, unnecessary. Again, we talked yesterday about 7th grade appropriate classroom behavior. Breaking into the alphabet song, not 7th grade appropriate classroom behavior. So it's highly unlikely, see what I did there, that we'll make it to this today, but I have a video to show you guys to teach you how to play a new game that I brought to school to share with you guys. But if we don't get to it, we don't get to it. So I need you guys focused on what you're supposed to be focused on if we have any chance of having time for a video at the end of class.
Guys, write this down.
So if every single fish was green, either you can give a percent chance or a fraction chance. What are your chances of getting every fish? And what's that one? What's the other outcome? But A says every fish in the tank is green. B is the bag as you have it. Well, so you walk the fish game literally higher, all green fish. Putting your well, if you're gonna get out of fish, you always catch a fish. I just read that. Time for some cards. My first sentence wrote down there kind of looks fun. Madison. Madison, if every fish in the tank is green, how do we represent that as a percent chance? Yeah, if we know it's going to happen, that is 100%. Natalie, if we look at the bag as it is, we have 1 green out of what? Out of 10, because we have 6 blue, 6 yellow, 3 blue, and 1 green. So we put them all together, and there are 10 total. Right, I'm not going to leave that written in green because that can be misleading. So how do I represent that as a probability?
Wait, it's 100. I thought it was 9.
Okay, we're on part B.
We're on part B. Where are you?
So if we look at all, now hold on, I know what you're thinking. This number has to be the total including the one that we want. So we have 1 green in the bag, but if I look at all of them together, I have 6 yellows, right, 6, 3 blues, 6 and 3, 9, 1 green, 10 total. So we say it's 1 green out of 10, but how we represent that probability, how do I write that fraction? Yeah.
Yeah, 110.
1/10. That's the fraction, just 1 out of 10.
Oh my god.
So then, if I need to turn this into a percent, Layla, when I'm using cards, it's easier. I just don't even have to call on you guys or think. I just call. Layla, how do I turn 1/10 into a percent? What do I need the bottom to be? 100. How do I get there? Times 10. So my numerator becomes 10, and that means the percent is 10%.
Really?
Because once it's over 100, once your fraction is over 100, the numerator is just a percent. But you have to be over 100.
You didn't even really need to do all this.
Yep.
What about the blackfish?
The blackfish.
Yeah, it would be
The black.
Oh, so that was added on for a second part of B. So here, if we add on the blackfish, sorry, so this, I still wanted to do C the way your bag is set up. If there was a blackfish though, and I'll just write this in black, how does that change your probability? There was a second part to part B, I forgot to do it, some of you guys might have missed it. If then the tank gets a blackfish tossed in, what then is the probability of green?
Wait, are these fish alive?
Natalie?
Yeah, okay. Yes, they're alive. They're not alive.
Yeah,
The
go ahead.
probability would be, like,
1 out
1
of
out of 11.
Ah! Now, eyes up here, because there's some notation in your homework that you don't know yet. How we write probability is P parenthesis, the thing that we're looking for. But when we add the blackfish into the tank, I still only have 1 green, but now I have 11 total, so it changes the probability from 1/10 to 1/11 when I add that blackfish in. I really want to add a rainbow fish and confuse people.
No.
You know what rainbow fish look? My sister-in-law has a big tattoo of the rainbow fish on her arm.
Oh, I used to read that when I was little. That was the cutest little story.
Because the rainbow fish wants to give its scales to the fish that need them. It's a great lesson.
I like the blobfish. My mom was all about the blobfish.
All right. I need your attention for just 5 more minutes, guys. We got 5 more minutes. So, This reviews how to do your probability. I want to point out this is a great aid for your homework. So 52, you might put like a star in your notes and write like 52 is good or something like that. 52 explains how to do these probabilities, right? It says, and you can click on this, right, if we're in the ebook, and it shows you P of A. It shows you everything. If you go in your glossary, this is exactly what it has. Right, Ava? Right, Ava? So, you know, like I said at the beginning of class, I like to mess with people that I know aren't paying attention. Be with me. I need you for 5 more minutes, okay? This is what's in your glossary. If you get confused on your homework, look up probability, and it's all right here. Number of successful outcomes is what I want, right? How many green fish? Total number of possible outcomes. It was 10, then we made it 11. So when we look at this situation, the probability that Mike would win was 1/10. But we can also convert that to a fraction, or sorry, to a decimal or to a percentage. What about blue? So please write 52A in your notes, and I'm going to slide this back into the TV. I really wish I had an ability to do that right here. 52A. Split, or, yeah, double screens. Then we're going to use proper notation here. Hey guys, remember how there was a homework quiz last week? Do you think there might be more homework quizzes coming? Do you think you should pay attention when I'm telling you things that I said this is important for your homework?
What homework quiz?
That you did as a team, the team homework mastery that we did.
Oh. But did that actually?
That your team, I think, left over here, but I found and I put in my bin anyways. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened.
She blames mine.
We're going to use proper notation. So we write P to represent probability. You open a parenthesis, then you write what we want. In A, what's the first thing we're asked about? The probability of, not green, blue. Right now they're asking us about blue. With your bag as it is at your desk, what is the probability of blue? Alana. Alana. Hey, hands, notice I'm using cards. I'm just calling on people. Hands don't matter. Alana. Yeah, your fraction. We normally, so that's a great question. We normally talk about probability as fractions because it's easier. We can convert to percents, and a lot of people like percents, but fractions are easy to set up. But 3/10, right? There are 3 blue out of 10 total. With your group, agree on the probability of yellow. And write it correctly. P of yellow. And we literally say of. That parenthesis tells me to say of. Probability of yellow. And as Ava is announcing to the class,
I'm not meaning
you just have a voice that carries. It is okay.
Yeah, Ava.
Do you play volleyball?
No.
Okay. Volleyball players often are like loud people because they have to call the shots. You have to like mine when you're going for it. Anyone who play volleyball knows a couple.
Here it is. Here it is.
What about? All right, last thing we need to talk about today because we're running out of time, and for you to be able to do your homework, you need to understand this. There is a question on your homework that says, classify these probabilities as theoretical or experimental, and most of your classmates who have been working ahead had come to me and be like, words I don't know. Theoretical. Theory is something that we know, which some kids are confused by because they think theory kind of means like the same thing as hypothesis, like guess. It does not. A theory is something we know. So, I'm like out of time. Sorry, I just got to get this. Theoretical probability is based off what we see. Ava, can you be with me? You're gonna have to split your group up. Not, like, it's not his fault. It's your self-control, okay? Theoretical probability did not have anything happen. We just look at it. Experimental probability is things happened. I rolled the dice. I flipped the coin. I actually did something. But if I don't do it, if I just say, oh, look at this coin, and then I talk about the probability, That's theoretical. Okay, experiment, you got to do something. That's how you classify. In your homework, just put T or E. You don't have to write the whole words out. Just put T or E. On that, get out of here. Have a great day, guys. Thank you very much.